Welcome to another edition of Jacqueline of All Trades, and today we are going to make the cake, the base to a cake that we are going to frost. And the reason for this video is one of our viewers wanted to know how it is that I tint frosting. So I figured, okay, what are we going to put frosting on? Well, let's do it on a cake. So this is my recipe to make a box mix taste homemade. And so here I have a chocolate mix cake from, this one is Pillsbury. And what it calls for is 3 eggs, I think it's either half a cup or a third cup of oil, and then 1 cup of water. And what I've learned from making cakes a few million times for my son's birthday is that if you add fat, you actually increase the richness of the cake and you make it more tender. So here we have the mix cake, and instead of water we're gonna add 1 cup of half and half. Okay, then we are going to add 1/3 cup of melted butter instead of the oil. And the last thing that we need to add are 3 eggs. Now, I just saw a video in which a woman was adding additional eggs in order to create richness. And she added an egg yolk. And one of the comments from a person who was tasting her cake, one of the first things is it's very eggy. Now, I am not a fan of eggy anything. I do believe that, eggs are important to emulsify fat and water, but it's not necessary to add additional eggs. The other thing is when you add eggs, what you end up with is something that decreases the sugar levels and creates, in my opinion, a tougher product because you're adding more protein. And one of the properties of protein is that it tends to shrink. And so I think 3 eggs are enough. And all we're going to do is, they recommend that you use an electric hand mixer. I am not going to do that because I don't want to clean the beaters and all the other things. So in exchange, what you can do is just stir it about 350 times, which is about 2 to 3 minutes. And the giveaway to know when it's been mixed enough is, instead of this darker chocolate, it just gets a little bit lighter. And you'll be able to see it if you compare the edge of the bowl that sometimes have some of the leftover initial batter and you compare it to what you have in the bowl. So it's just a matter of mixing it. And so we're just going to use a little bit of elbow grease, as they say. Now at this point, if you wanted to, you could add more vanilla. You could add a little bit of espresso coffee. I'm going to leave mine this way. I think that just making the switches of butter instead of oil and half and half instead of water are sufficient to create a delicious cake. I think that there is such a thing as over-engineering things, including over-engineering a cake. So once this is done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread it on this sheet, and I'm going to make a little sheet cake. And what's really good about this particular mold is a 10 by 12 grilling pan, is I can then cut it and create a nice cake that I can fill in between. So what I recommend is stay tuned for the next video, in which once I have it baked, I'm going to use different types of frosting, different colors, and I'm going to show you how to do that. We will see you in the next one. Bye.